Alright guys, welcome to Flavo Rihanna's MMA show. I'm your host Flavo Rihanna, brought to you by Four Corner Sports. Alright guys, so we're in the weighing hours of UFC 270 about to start. But I'm not going to talk about UFC 270. I'll put that out for tomorrow. My recap and what I ended up thinking of my analysis of UFC 270. But right now, I want to talk to you about the stuff that ended up getting announced by Brett Okamoto, by the UFC, by ESPN. All right, yes, we have a champion. He's going to end up making his first title defense. Yes, that is Glover Teixeria. He is going to be making his first title defense against Jiri Prochazka. Guys, Glover said it. He did say it at I believe it was Halloween, the day before Halloween, when Glover ended up winning the title over Jan Blachowicz in Abu Dhabi. All right. He did tell Jiri Prochazka in the stands, "I'll fight you in May." And I thought, guys, look, the UFC was going to force Glover's hands to fight beforehand, but it just happened to work out that, you know what? Yes, he will be fighting in May. Glover Teixeira has had a hard road. He's fought for the belt once, only until he ended up getting the belt, defeating Jiri Prochazka by submission. Okay, fought for the belt once. He lost to Jon Jones. Nobody really beats Jon Jones, especially at light heavyweight. And it took him, what, maybe like 7 years or even longer, 10 years to get back to a title picture. He had to go on a roll. I mean, in that road, he ended up defeating guys like Thiago Santos, Anthony Smith, Jan Blachowicz, who he ended up defeating to get the belt. I believe, yeah, no, he went through a warpath just to get the belt. And, you know, now he's going to fight Jiri Prochazka, who has had only 2 fights in the UFC for Volkan Ozdemir. And that first Fight Island Abu Dhabi card, I believe that was, I can't remember off the top of my head. I think it had to be like, what, UFC 252, if I'm not mistaken, or 251. It had to be one of those. Man, oh man, guys, I don't know. I really do believe that Glover Teixeira is going to be losing his belt after just winning it, unfortunately, because Glover is such a likable guy. He's a very likable guy. I mean, works hard, worked his entire life to get into the process of trying to become a champion. Probably thought at one point that he wasn't going to be champion realistically, because Jon Jones, the greatest fighter, in my opinion, of all time, the most decorated fighter, he was just owned that light heavyweight division. I mean, and you ended up seeing what ended up happening when Jones ended up doing, in his title run, vacates the title after, winning by decision against Dominic Reyes. Then you all guys know what happened. Dana White puts the title on the line, the vacant title on the line. Jan Blachowicz versus Dominic Reyes. Dominic Reyes gets dropped by Jan Blachowicz. Blachowicz wins the belt. Blachowicz ends up defending his belt against Israel Adesanya, who was trying to go for double champ status at the time, and that would have been something, hellaciously crazy. And Blachowicz loses the title to Glover Teixeira because Teixeira ends up mauling him and then going for I believe it was the rear naked choke, if I'm not mistaken. My opinion right there, I think Jiri Prochazka is just destined to be the champion. I mean, he was offered at one point to go into the UFC, declined, says he wasn't ready. I believe he was in Glory Kickboxing, if I'm not mistaken. It had to be Glory Kickboxing, because this guy was just phenomenal. But I just think the styles of Jiri Prochazka versus Glover Teixeira, I feel like in order for Glover to win, I really do believe that he's going to have to get this fight onto the ground. I believe if he gets this fight onto the ground, there's a strong possibility that he's going to be able to win. My problem is we ended up seeing what Jiri Prochazka was able to do to Dominic Reyes. And Dominic Reyes is a top 5, top 10, or top 8 heavyweight, light heavyweight, my mistake. And he just dominates him, and we haven't seen Dominic Reyes since. I mean, he got dropped. It looked like he almost broke his neck, the way that he ended up falling after that spinning elbow. Man, oh man, guys, I just really do want to see a good fight for this light heavyweight title fight. The rumor has it that it's gonna be in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. That makes a whole lot of sense. I mean, you're gonna, the UFC hasn't been able to travel, and Brazil historically has been hosting the May pay-per-view card. All right, we saw it in the past when Jose Aldo has fought over there. There's rumors also. Nothing is confirmed yet, but it seems like it's in the works for that. Charles Oliveira is gonna be trying to defend his lightweight title against Justin Gaethje. That will be phenomenal. And if that's the case, I really do believe that they'll make Oliveira versus Gaethje as the main event over Teixeria versus Prochazka. Even though normally the UFC tries to go with the heavier weight, going above, maybe most likely main eventing. Not in this case. I know I'm jumping topics right now, but I feel like this is very important to say. Yes, Oliveira versus Gaethje is in the works. From what I've seen from sources, I just firmly do believe that it's most likely going to end up happening in May. It makes only sense. I mean, look, they already have covered for February's card. That's Adesanya Whitaker. March's card, Masvidal versus Covington. That's the main event. All right, so that buys the UFC time and their champions to main event future pay-per-views. April, you have 2 title fights. You have Aljamain Sterling versus Petr Yan, and then you also have Alexander Volkanovski versus the Korean Zombie. So it looks like it makes sense. You're gonna have 2 title fights in May. You're gonna have 2 Brazilian champions try to retain their titles in their native country. It makes a whole lot of sense. There was also talks on trying to have Juliana Pena versus Amanda Nunes in Brazil, but Juliana Pena just shut that down during her media scrum for UFC 270. She was like a guest fighter for the media scrum. She shut it down. She says most likely in the summer. I actually like that idea. I feel like Juliana Pena should not have to fight in Brazil, in Amanda Nunes' home country, all right, to try to defend her, try to make her first title defense. It makes no sense whatsoever. Have it in a place where Juliana's comfortable. She should have championship privileges. I understand that these privileges are going to most likely lean towards Amanda Nunes because she has generated so much money for the company. She has been considered the greatest female fighter of all time. I truly understand that. But on December 11th, we ended up seeing Juliana Pena get the better number of Amanda Nunes, and which we haven't seen Amanda Nunes in that type of position since she had last lost, which was against Kat Zingano. But guys, yeah, we have Prochazka, Teixeria Prochazka. That title is going to be put on the line on May 7th, most likely in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Can't see it happening anywhere else. And then it also works for Oliveira versus Gaethje. All right. The UFC has been talking a lot about Brazil, so you add the pieces to the puzzle, 2 and 2 puts together, you see that it's most likely going to end up happening in Brazil, in most likely Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Okay. Wouldn't be surprised if the UFC tries to put, a Jose Aldo on that card. All right. I know if they're going to go in May for to have a card in Brazil, they're going to stack that card with a whole bunch of Brazilian fighters from the early prelims to the regular prelims to the main card. I'm very excited for that. All right. Once the news officially drops on Oliveira versus Gaethje, you guys will hear it here first. I'll put out a video out. But yeah, guys, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in for the major announcements, the major news that ended up happening just a few hours ago. It was reported by Brett Okamoto of ESPN. But Teixeria versus Prochazka, it's a done deal. Prochazka signed. Teixeira signed. We're going to end up seeing that fight. Let's see what happens with Teixeira's first title defense. Does he keep it? Does he keep the belt? Does he retain it? Or does he end up losing the belt to Jiri Prochazka? So then, guys, I'm Flav Oriana. Thank you for tuning in to Flav Oriana's MMA show. I'll see you guys next time. And, guys, enjoy UFC 270. It's coming at you in about an hour and a half. So then, guys, see ya and have a good one. Peace, guys.